You ever had a feeling after you finish a movie and the credits starts rolling, you kind of just sit there and don't want to move? You're either in shock trying to process what you just watched, or completely in awe, or perhaps feeling an indescribable euphoric joy or satisfaction. I think that's when you know the movie had a good ending. Now, I'm sure there's so many ways to write a good ending to a film, but today I want to focus on something that I've noticed throughout my film viewing experiences. Something that is common amongst the films where the endings have left an impression on me. So a few years ago when I was doing research on an essay I was writing on behavioral economics, I came across a very interesting theory which illustrated the way in which people remember and judge experiences. And this theory is the peak end rule. In a nutshell, the peak end rule is a psychological heuristic, a mental shortcut if you will, where we tend to remember and judge our experiences based on the climax and the ending. And if an experience ends on a high note, we tend to have a more positive association with that experience. I'm sure you can relate. So how does this relate to films? I assume most of us at some point in our lives, whether it's from English class or YouTube videos, would have come across the basic 5-act narrative structure. And they are exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. 5-act structure. Well, if you haven't, now you have. Now this structure in one form or another can be seen in almost every single film or every single narrative for that matter. And within this structure, there's naturally a high point, the climax, and an end point, the resolution. You see where I'm getting at? Imagine if we're able to utilize the peak end effect in the writing of our film. Is it possible to improve the ending by having the climax near the very end? Or perhaps have a very short falling action and resolution? Or heck, maybe even just have the climax be the resolution and the falling action at the same time. And my answer is absolutely. Yes! Yes! In fact, this is exactly the pattern that I found amongst those films where the endings have left a memorable impression on me. Here are a few examples. Spoiler alert, obviously. I'll be first naming the film before continuing, so if you hear the title of a film and you haven't seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, then, well, skip ahead or something. Anyways, examples. Whiplash. The climatic scene of this film is literally the resolution. And in fact, this is one of the films that first drew my attention towards this concept.
Not quite my tempo.
Andrew frees from the pressure he put upon himself to impress Fletcher, and instead is now playing for himself, his own love for music. Damien Chazelle did not waste a single second on the aftermath of that climax. He didn't show us Andrew walking off stage and hugging his dad or something. Not a single second wasted. The scene and the entire film ends on a climatic high note. Pun intended. Fight Club. Now there are many ups and downs throughout this film, but I would say the climax would be the final confrontation between our protagonist and Tyler Durden. From the point in which he finds out that he is in fact Tyler Durden to when he shoots himself in the mouth and kills Tyler Durden. Time from end of the climax to the credit starts rolling, 2 minutes and 29 seconds. 8 Mile.
Now everybody from the 313, put your motherfucking hands up and follow me!
The final rap battle is obviously the climax of the film, where B-Rabbit overcomes his stage fright and learns to use his weaknesses as strengths to beat his opponents.
About to say against me, I am white, I am a fucking punk. I do live in a trailer with my mom.
Time from end of the climax to credit starts rolling, 2 minutes and 20 seconds.
You ever wanted in one moment, but you capture it, just let it slip. Yo.
Rogue One. Now there is a reason why so many people walked out of the cinema feeling pumped as fuck after watching this film. The climax of the story technically ends with the explosion, but Gareth Edwards decided to give us fans another shot of adrenaline after that. So although technically the badass Darth Vader scene is not the climax of the film, but because it's so fucking epic, it is kind of like a climax on its own. Once again, the film ends right there on a very exciting high note. Now, there are countless films out there that exhibit characteristics like this. You have Ip Man, Seven, Black Swan, Ex Machina, Get Out, just to name a few. All of these films utilizes the peak end effect and do not drag out their endings. So when the credit starts rolling, the audience is still trying to process the high they're experiencing from the climax. So Peter Jackson, if you come across this video by any chance, just know that, cut the damn thing! We do not need 25 minutes of ending after ending after ending after ending after ending. To sum things up, endings of films can benefit greatly from having a short and sweet resolution, especially if it follows up the climax of the film. It can also benefit from having climax as the ending of the film. However, just remember, it is not the only way to write a good ending. And also remember, the peak end rule is simply a way in which we remember and judge our experiences. It does not solely apply to filmmaking, but our perception in general. Furthermore, while good endings are important, they do not make a good film. And just because we walked away from a satisfying ending, it does not mean the film as a whole was flawless. It is always good to go back and evaluate the entire film as a whole, so we don't get too caught up and influenced by this peak end effect. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you guys learned something from this video, and if you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and given the situation going on right now, I really hope you guys are staying home, staying safe, and I hope you are all well. And remember to wash your hands and enjoy your movies.